The Texas Werewolf, Episode 4, Imprisoned.
Damn, that's terribly inconvenient. I haven't been able to raise Elsa for nearly 2 days now.
That is a very real concern.
Don't worry, Brandon. We'll get the show back on track in time for the broadcast.
Broadcast? One of our journalists disappears while reporting, and you worry about the broadcast? How can you be so callous? Think about how this might affect the station's liability insurance, how it might affect our wholesome image as a local, family-friendly broadcaster. It could be a public relations disaster, as well as financially crippling.
I see your point.
That is why I am general manager, Peter, because I see risks where others see opportunities.
Quite. Should we be trying to track her down, then?
The first thing is to produce a risk analysis to see how her disappearance might impact the station and to define appropriate mitigation scenarios to put before the board meeting next Thursday.
Isn't that a bit late if we need to take action of some kind?
Action? Peter, we don't want to take any action. That is a further risk. The important thing is to let the board know that everything has been assessed and we know exactly what action to take should they require us to take it.
More important than actually taking the action?
Precisely. Look, Peter, board awareness is everything in a crisis. The last thing the board want is to feel that a crisis is going to disrupt their lives.
I see. Manage the board and you manage the crisis.
Correct. The actual facts hardly matter, as long as the board don't know them. And if action is needed, the decision is made by the board, sanctioned and minuted properly, a clear chain of command that leads back to them.
I get it. Keep the board fully informed with a sketchy version of the events and let them carry the can for any decision-making.
Exactly.
And as none of the board read the reports, no action will be necessary.
Precisely.
Risk analysis it is then. I'll get onto it right away.
Phyllis, what are you doing here? Have you been kidnapped too?
No, dear. I've not been kidnapped, and neither have you. You are here as our guest.
Guest? I'm locked up in an old chicken coop and chained to the wall.
Well, Fanshawe, he can be a little overzealous sometimes. But if you promise not to keep screaming, I'll take you back inside the house with me. Come on, dear. Here you go. Just to make you aware, dear, if you try to run, you'll find a nasty surprise just on the fringe of the wood. See? Not a good idea to run. Stick with me. I'll sort everything out, dear.
What's that?
All in good time. Welcome to our coven.
Right. So you are a part of this witchcraft thing.
Most people in the town join in some extent, some more than others. It's kind of part of our tradition, our heritage. My mother was high priestess, and her mother before that. So now I am.
This is definitely weird. It's going to make a good story, though.
That's one thing that won't happen.
See, I said she was a threat. Couldn't we sacrifice her? We haven't had any good sacrifices in ages.
No one gets sacrificed, Fanshawe, ever. You'll have to excuse Fanshawe, dear. Overzealous, as I said.
What do you want with me then?
Well, dear, we do have a little problem in the community.
You mean the non-existent wolf man that people don't keep mentioning?
Yes, you could put it that way. And we surely appreciate your help to fix our little problem.
And if I choose to just go home?
Well, There isn't really an option available at this moment. Your choices are limited to helping, willing or unwilling. One has greater chance of survival than the other. So I'll let you work out which.
And the problem is?
Well, dear, Fanshawe has managed to open a Pandora's box of a problem. Didn't you, Fanshawe? He's a little embarrassed by the whole thing. Poor dear. He is trying to create a virility potion that went wildly wrong. Too much woof and not enough love in that mix. And to add to the problem, poor old Josiah Bates, he thought it was chili sauce for his burgers. He ate the whole lot, and now we have a problem.
Yeah, with Josiah running around thinking he's a wolf in mating season.
Oh no, he really is a wolf. Transfiguration was the result. Man to wolf. We are witches after all. The transformation in one direction worked. Even though it wasn't exactly the desired outcome, we're just finding it harder than expected to turn him back again.
That's crazy. How does that work?
Well, the components of the potion bring out certain instincts. In this case, the wolf-like tendencies dominate. Animal lust sets him off. He transforms into an amorous wolf, and then he turns back when the desire is no more. It's simple as that.
Simple, but the turning back part isn't working so well, huh?
It's not so much that it doesn't work, then it's just not very permanent.
And are you trying to contain it all before it becomes a story?
Yes, the last thing we want is press crawling all over this place. I know a coven in Wisconsin, they opened the gates to the other world by accident, just for 2 days. And then the stories haven't stopped since.
Wisconsin, who'd have thought it?
Well, we've tried to get it under control. The desire to mate brings him in, but somehow hunger takes over from carnal desire, and he ends up eating the volunteers. Very unfortunate.
Them? You've tried more than once?
Yeah, we're on our 3rd attempt. Once his hunger is satisfied, he pops back into human form, but it's only temporary. Something sparks him off again, and whoops, away he goes.
And you're preparing to have another go?
Yes.
What idiot is going to volunteer for that job?
Well, it's surprising, dear. Who turns up just when you need them?
Why are you looking at me like that? No way. You want me to act as a decoy to reel in Wolf Boy?
No, that's not so much a decoy, more as a bait.
Right. That makes me feel a whole lot better.
Well, you really don't have much choice. You snooped, you're here now, and it's convenient for us.
Great.
Fanshawe, better get her ready.